Flesner here with Valley Homes on TV, along with Debbie Giordano.
Hi, Todd. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Hey, we're out and about around Milpitas, and going to bring some folks some interesting updates about what's happening with our educational system.
Yes. May I introduce our guests?
Yeah, please do.
Well, we're at Rancho Junior High, which is over here in the Parktown area of Milpitas, and we have with us today Dan Bobay of the Milpitas Unified School District. He's the president of the board.
Dan, it's great to have you.
It's great to be here. Thanks, Todd. Thanks, Debbie. Appreciate it. I want to welcome you to Rancho, home of the Dons. We have 738 students here at Rancho, and this site was actually part of a Spanish land grant at one time. So.
Oh, so that's where it
No
got the
kidding.
name. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know a little bit about Milpitas. You've been in town for a bit of time. Why don't you share a little folks a little bit about maybe how you got involved with the school board and some of your history.
Well, let's see, history, ancient history. Well, I moved down to the South Bay, and I was about 25 or so, and I lived actually in Berryessa, right next door, right on the other side of the road there. And I owned 3 different houses over there and got involved with the PTA, and eventually we moved to Milpitas, and we've been here for 16 years. And part of my involvement with the PTA involved the North Valley Council PTA, which included Milpitas and the Berryessa schools. And at one point, it was decided that Milpitas wanted to split off. So I went with the Milpitas side, and well, here we are. One day, Marcia asked me if I was interested in running for school board, and it all went downhill from there.
I remember. And so you served how long on the board now?
It's 5 years.
5 years.
Right.
And then how many years as the president of the board? A couple years?
2 years.
2 years. Okay,
Good.
great.
But it all started out being a parent volunteer through the PTA.
Yes.
Ah, nice.
Outstanding. Well, we're going to ask you a little bit more about what's happening with schools. I know there's been a lot that's been going on with that. But maybe just in general, kind of what are some of the new things that are happening with the school? Maybe one of the things that folks like to know about is the bond. I mean, this is some new facilities that we have here.
Measure E. Yeah, Measure E was passed, and it was for $95 million. In phase 1, we have modernization of a few of our schools here, including 5 learning labs. This is a learning lab. This is one of the learning labs that we have. The other one is at, the other ones are at Weller, Burnett, Spangler, and, well, here, obviously, and let's see, Randall.
Yeah, okay.
So.
How did those schools get selected, just out of curiosity?
Well, it was a long, involved process. We took a look at the schools that had received some improvements earlier, and the ones that received improvements most recently are probably the ones that are going to be modernized in phase 3. There are 3 phases, and we're in the first phase. So these schools haven't undergone modernization in a while. The carpets were getting a little worn. The paint was definitely in need of refreshing. And as we start to implement blended learning and a new learning model here, we needed new facilities in order to accomplish
Well, it's beautiful. It's really quite a. Ellen will make a pass through with the camera and show the folks at home what's happened here.
Yeah, maybe you could talk a little bit about what goes into that learning lab environment.
Okay.
That's a good question.
Well, you'll notice if you look around, we have all modular furniture, and almost everything is on wheels. Everything moves.
Okay.
That's so that the students can be organized in different groups or in a large group. Certainly with the connected classrooms, the individual teaching can go on in the classroom environment just like it has gone on for quite a while. And then those students in that group can either break off into smaller groups or do independent work themselves. This shared area here is great for multiple classrooms to come together and work on different projects.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about API scores.
Okay.
Okay. Folks want to know what goes into that. How is it calculated? How important are those scores relative to the schools? I know over the course that I've been watching the different schools, they've actually gradually gone up and have been on an increase, which congratulations.
Thank you.
So what goes into the API score and how's it factored? How important are they?
Well, the academic performance index, as well as the STAR testing that goes along as a result of it. The students take the STAR tests in the spring, and those scores are calculated as a grand average based on the students that have taken it for the school, and then a score is derived for the school's performance. 700, 800, 900, 950, up to 1,000.
That's the limit. That's the highest.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
And that was all part of No Child Left Behind, which we are at the tail end of No Child Left Behind. And we're beginning to implement Common Core standards. So there will also be a change in the testing as we transition into Common Core standards and a new federal program. Actually, there was an article in the paper today that was quite interesting regarding state schools at risk of losing U.S. funding.
Oh, no kidding. Well,
Yeah.
well, so now Common Core. So we're moving from API to Common Core, is my understanding. Okay.
Well, that API had to do with the
With the-
academic performance
Okay.
index. And Common Core is a structured learning environment where at every grade level, what the students need to know is identified up front. So the teachers in various grade levels, or in each grade level, can target their teaching to deliver that information to that group of students.
Okay.
Okay. So I know, those of us who have kids in the schools here, we always sit down with the teachers at the beginning of the year, and they have here are the learning standards that they have for their curriculum for that particular year, for that subject matter. And so that, I take it that's part of that Common Core experience?
Yes, and it's going to be a lot more rigorous. It's going to require students work together to identify information that they need in order to solve a problem, and then they have to go out and find that information in order to resolve their issues.
I have a question for you. I have two grandchildren. They don't live here locally, but they're both 4 years of age. So what is this transitional kindergarten? What is that all about here?
In Milpitas, we have 22 students in transitional kindergarten. And what we're talking about here is the fall babies, typically what we would call the fall babies. If a child is not 5 years old by September 2nd, but will turn 5 by December 2nd, they are eligible for 1 year of transitional kindergarten. And the intent is to prepare those children socially and give them the opportunity to become developmentally ready for kindergarten.
Wow.
And so they take a full year of transitional kindergarten, and then they go into a regular kindergarten environment.
Okay, is that offered at every school, or do you just have one
It's
place
offered
for
in
them?
Milpitas. We have it at Spangler and at Rose.
Okay, so, okay, great. Terrific.
So another kind of buzzword I think that's out there in education circles these days is blended learning. What is that, and how does that manifest itself in the Milpitas schools?
Well, as you know, there's a lot of online learning resources out there that are available to teachers, and teachers can take advantage of that now because we have a lot of computers available for our students. We have a lot of different sources of media. We have video, we have audio, we have it's just an unlimited amount of media available to help our students learn. And blended learning brings all of that together to deliver the message, to deliver the information that the kids need to know.
All right.
So not just sitting there at the desk listening to the lecture anymore, taking notes.
Oh, no. No, it's not the
Dan?
same old school.
Dan, I heard that there were some changes to the CCOC program. Did I get that right? What is CCOC, and How do we anticipate that in the future?
CCOC. Well, we offer to our high school students at both Milpitas High and over at Cal Hills an opportunity to get occupational training. And so we are part of a joint powers agreement with San Jose Unified, East Side, Santa Clara, Campbell, and Saratoga. And we have gotten together and we created CCOC, which is a school down on Hillsdale Avenue in San Jose that offers all kinds of different occupational
Great.
training.
Great.
You really need to see it. One of these days you got to get down.
Oh, maybe we'll travel down that way next time.
It's really beautiful. There's a courtroom down there for the legal aid students. There's a complete kitchen down there for the culinary arts. There's a complete auto shop down there. There's machine tool technology, welding, painting,
Great skills.
veterinary sciences, and medical assisting
Nice.
classes.
Well, I'm going to let Todd ask the next one. His wife, Cheryl, I know has volunteered a lot of her time at the Spangler Elementary School, so I will let you ask the next question about parent participation.
Well, and you're somebody that knows parent participation well, with your background. But how is it that folks can be involved in the schools and support their children's education? Because I think most of the studies and the research show that those parents that are involved, the likelihood of success of their kids is a lot greater.
Oh, sure. Yeah, parents can, it's not hard to get involved. If you want to be involved in the classrooms, certainly they always need volunteers in the classroom. Go down to the school, introduce yourself to the principal and the staff, and talk to your child's teachers. As well, PTA, we have a PTA in pretty much all of the schools except for Rose, which has a PTO, parent-teacher organization, and it's the same situation there. They need as many parents as can, as are able to volunteer.
Right.
So we need them all.
Well, final question. Current challenges that you're facing with the school
boy.
district, and then how do you expect to meet those challenges?
Wow, that's a good one. Current challenges. Well, let's see. Well, we've got 2 phases of a bond cycle to get through in order to finish the modernization of the schools here. Also, some of the challenges involve all of the construction that's going on in Milpitas, and those kind of things. We need to expand our schools. We need to make our schools better, and we need parent participation to do that. And we've got a lot of new people in Milpitas. We've got great schools, and we've got a lot of new people headed this way. So we need to accommodate those kids.
I would agree. That's
Right.
that's
So, with all those new folks, I think there's been some discussions about a new school as well in the future.
We've set aside some bond money as well for a new school. It's obviously probably not enough, but, but we're having trouble locating an ideal place to put that school. But the sooner we get going on that school, the better off we'll be. Zanker School is completely full. Synod, as you know, right next door here is also completely full. And yeah, we've got some challenges with Randall and Spangler, and we need to really buckle down and get it all organized here pretty quick.
Well, Dan, thank you so much for opening up the Learning Center here at Rancho Junior High School so that we could film our show, and we appreciate your time very much and all the dedication and work that you do for our city's children, for the schools. And here is a Valley Homes on TV t-shirt with our logo right there. There you go.
Well, thank you very much.
So that's for you. Take home. That makes a nice golfing t-shirt or whatever you end up doing.
Well, again, thanks from both of us, and thank you from the community as well for your service and for the great work that's going on in educating our children here in Milpitas.
Thank you. I really appreciate the people of Milpitas putting me in office and keeping me there. And I look forward to doing it for few more years.
That's great. Thanks,
Great.
Dan.
Thank you.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills one person every hour. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Through the years, trends and styles may come and go, but the important things remain the same. Generation after generation, consistently there, creating moments and memories to last a lifetime. Like a true friend, the national parks have always been there for you, and now you can be there for them. Support the National Park Foundation and help protect America's treasured places.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching Valley Homes on TV. I'm Debbie Giordano with Todd Flesner. We are talking about the statistics and the economy and the local housing market that affects you here for the month of September. So job growth, steam, whatever. Anyway, I heard an economist, Carol Rodini, that spoke at the Board of Realtors, and she talked about the national economy. She talked about a jobless recovery, but yet right here in our valley, our economy is so unique here in Silicon Valley from anything else in the country or the world. So
That is true, absolutely. Our jobs market here is much, much healthier than it is across the board.
I want to give you 5 quick facts that she
Good.
brought up about the Bay Area economy. We're at a 5.3 unemployment to 7% unemployment, so that's better than the rest of the national economy. By 2040, we will have 2.1 more million people in population here in this area. We have cultural and economic diversity. We have great surrounding lifestyles where you can drive up to Lake Tahoe or close by from this area. And Silicon Valley, we know, is the heart of technology. So that makes our area very, very unique. So how does that translate into the local economy? Well, we know that in the next 2 to 3 years, large companies in the Bay Area will be purchasing smaller companies. So technology will continue to be innovative here. Rental properties are going up in costs. It's $2,000 and plus per month for a rental property. We're at peak price right now but foreclosures are only 5% and they're down from 52%. So that's an interesting fact for our area. And 25% of our deals are still all cash. So we still have a fairly strong real estate market. So what's going to happen in the next 6 months, she predicts? Inventory will have doubled. Buyers' affordability is still good. Pricing, she talked about list price. When you see a home for sale and you look at the list price, that doesn't mean anything.
It's what it sells for.
Exactly. I mean,
Right.
It's just what somebody throws on a home that's either attractive to a buyer or not. But list price doesn't mean much anymore. And there's more competition for sellers due to higher inventories right now. So she predicts a good market for the next 3 to 5 years. 27 to 35% buyers are from international. They're international buyers, more prevalent. And real estate is still the best place to put your dollars. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It's interesting. And that, it doesn't come as any surprise to someone who works in the industry on a day-to-day basis, but it's good to see the numbers to back that and to see what those trend lines are.
So let me give you some quick numbers. In San Jose Mercury, have home buyers get break as hot market cools off, and that is the case. The market is beginning to cool. But let's look what's happened between August 2012 and August 2013. In 2012, average price was $715,000 for a single-family home and $605,000 for a medium price. That's actually that dropped. It dropped down to $704,000 for an average price and $688,000 for a medium price. So it kind of changes around, but not a big fluctuation there. So they've already taken into account the shift in the market. But the condo market has definitely shifted. In August 2012, we had $363,000 for an average price and that's rose to now to $472,000 for a townhome. And I think that's phenomenal due to the fact that we have a lot of building going on in the city, a lot of townhome building. I would have not have predicted that I'm very surprised.
Yeah, that seems to be what the new product that's coming on the market is that townhome condo.
Should have depressed the existing sales, but it has not done so.
So there's been some pent-up demand. People have seen the prices go up, and people are jumping in. But again, some leveling now with prices.
So let me ask you, Todd, I get your weekly
Yes.
email updates about the interest rates. I think we're down a little bit. It says economists see interest rates leveling off. So what do you see?
Yeah, we've seen actually a little bit of a dip here recently in interest rates. And a lot of that has to do with what's going on with the Federal Reserve Board and this quantitative easing, or QE, program that they've had. And been speculation that as we have come out of the summer here, that they would be tapering that program. And their most recent Fed statement says they're going to continue to purchase mortgage bonds, which is keeping interest rates low.
So that's stable.
It is stable. It's a stabilizing factor. And again, we've seen rates come down as much as 0.5% over what they've been in the last month or so.
Yes.
So if folks were looking at maybe being priced out of the market, or maybe a refinance didn't make sense for, might be a good chance to take a look again.
What would 0.5% do? Say on an average home, what do you think that might make?
0.5%.
$500,000, $600,000 home.
Yeah, it could be
couple $100.
Yeah, it could be $100, $150. Depends on the type of loan that they have, and but for some folks that is a significant deal. And for a loan of that size, that's usually my rule of thumb: is you want to save at least 0.5%, and that'll save you $100, $150 on the average loan.
Okay.
And that's a good place to start looking.
Okay. Do you see rates going any deeper, further down, or?
Well, it's hard to know with the crystal ball. And again, we're in such a unique area here economically in terms of what's happening. It's harder to get a barometer just looking out the window here, as opposed to what's going on a national sort of basis, which is the driver really more of what interest rates are going to be. It looks like that.
And then again, the choice of the new federal chairman, that could change with Bernanke going out and somebody else coming in.
There's dynamics there, and some politics with that, and people, names in, names out, and so there's some uncertainty there, and the geopolitical environment as well. Uncertainty will sometimes lead to a little bit lower interest rates as investors have a flight for quality and a rate of return that they know they can count on.
But let me guess, rates are great.
They are. They're fabulous.
They're fabulous.
We're in the low 4s right now for a conforming loan, which is fabulous. So
great.
If they move around a little bit on a daily basis, but can't complain.
Great. Well, how about a contact information?
You can reach me at 408-921-0669, cell phone number. And for you, Deb?
And for me, if any questions about the show, 408-858-5771. It's been a pleasure again to bring you Valley Homes on TV, and we've got a couple great segments coming up. I think we're going out to a new party place. And we're going on site to a new company that they do parties or something like that.
Well, it sounds like fun. Folks are going to have to join us to see where we're headed.
See where we're headed on the road. Thank you very much for watching Valley Homes on TV. We'll see you later. Thank you.
Thank you.